Well, that was Shayna Hubers in her own words. I shot him in the head. We don't normally hear that type of confession. I can't imagine how the family feels, but I believe Aaron Keller is here to tell us today how the family testified in the courtroom and what the reactions were when they even look at Shayna Hubers. Aaron.
Linda, good to see you. Okay, so this trial is happening in a courtroom that's right above me. It's in a new addition to this very beautiful facility here in Newport, Kentucky. We're just across the river from Cincinnati, Ohio. We can see downtown Cincinnati from where we are right now. But look, okay, here's what's going on. The last couple of days have been, of course, Miss Ohio 2012, but also a number of people who were acquainted with very closely with the victim and also the victim's family members. We had what we could say, to use apparently the victim's own words, his two fathers. He had a birth father and a stepfather. He referred to them both as dad. He used to introduce his family as a mom, three sisters himself, and two dads. Apparently they did jointly help raise him. Both of the fathers testified, one yesterday, one today. Look, the bottom line here is everyone who was surrounding Ryan Poston said he was having trouble shaking this relationship with Shayna Hubers, that she was clingy. She just kept hanging on to him. She wouldn't get the message that he was trying to let her go. And under the state's theory, he was just too much of a nice guy to really finally cut the cord.
What?
A number of his associates, yes, I'm sorry, go ahead, Lynn.
Go ahead. Let me ask you a question there. Has there been any hint of any testimony from the fathers, from the family, that there was a history of any type of abuse or strange behavior from Ryan in his years that he lived? Or is this an aberration that they're hearing from about Shayna Hubers?
So from the state's version of things, he was in no way abusive to her. But, you know, I can't help and sit here but look at this. And look, we hear this all the time in trials. We hear that there's a mental health aspect to it. We hear it, and it's easy to sit around the table there and sometimes dismiss it. In this case, I'm sitting there. I'm looking at body language. I'm watching these interrogation recordings go by. And I sense, and again, this is me, a good amount of pain in Shayna Hubers, that she was just very pained by the way this victim treated her. Why is the defense bringing all this up? It's not necessarily to malign the victim. It's because in Kentucky, the murder statute allows a very, very subjective view into the mind of the defendant. Was the defendant suffering from basically some version of mental torture? That's not the exact language of the law, but was something going on with the defendant that made her think she had to do this? Was there some pressure? Was it an extreme amount of pressure? And again, forgive me, I'm paraphrasing the statute, right, but that's really what it seems the defense is trying to get at here. That he was.
Aaron, quickly, let me ask you a question. Could her prior abusive relationships cause her to overreact to this relationship?
That's exactly what the defense argued during the opening statements, and that's exactly the theme I expect the defense to continue with this. She, according to the opening statements, was a sexual assault victim. She was pinned against a wall and sexually assaulted in a restaurant. Apparently, it wasn't reported. The defense brought this up. The defense said that between that and some mental health diagnoses, she just really didn't know how to frame a healthy relationship in her mind, that because Ryan Poston, according to the defense, basically kept sleeping with her while saying he was trying to break up with her, she didn't know what to believe, and she was, kind of going crazy from this whole scenario. Well, that's the defense version of it.
We have more to come. We're going to be going to break soon. Aaron, I can't wait to hear the updates on Monday about this, how this turns out, because this is such a different trial from the first one, but we still have a dead victim here no matter what.